What's up, everybody? Smoke Break MMA is back in your life with the logo reveal. I'm showing everybody right now, I've got it on camera. The Smoke Break MMA logo is finally done. I spent all this time messaging, painters and messaging artists and people on Twitter and Facebook. And then I just got to thinking all of a sudden, what the hell's wrong with me? My wife is an amazing artist. My wife can draw her ass off. Why don't I just get her to draw it for me? So she sat down, and it only took her about a day. Took her about a whole day, but she did it. I've got it framed. I've already posted it on Twitter for everybody. A lot of people have already seen it, but it actually turned out beautiful. She drew it with a pencil and then went over it with black paint and then went over it with some green paint and some red paint for the blood and the eyes. But it just turned out amazing. For any of y'all who haven't seen it, go give it a look. And it will be with me every time I record now. It will be in the background. But my guest today, a good friend of mine, and we're gonna mix it up and do a little NFL/MMA episode. Ty O'Keefe.
Hey man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And also, I love the logo. Your wife did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, like you've seen the logo that's on my background on my
Yeah,
YouTube. She just took.
the framed logo. Yeah, the frame logo looks flawless. And the thing that I love about it is it's unique to MMA. There's not a lot of people who have a logo like that.
Yeah, and it's just it's simple. It's very simple. Sometimes simple works.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it doesn't do good to have these crazy wacky signs. With all these. Sometimes simple works for sure.
Oh, definitely. I know too because I've been getting logos drawn for me for the last 8-9 months for all the different stuff I've done. Our MMA in the afternoon logo, our Octagon logo, our All 5 Rounds logo, and it's I totally understand what you're talking about, man. It's you gotta just keep it simple and try to make a statement with the image itself.
For one, it's very hard to come up with a name for anything. Like Smoke Break MMA kind of come to me just out of the blue, kind of take a smoke break and smoke. It kind of just come to me, and then I got to looking, and the thing about names is, like we mentioned one name, Outlaw MMA, and somebody already has it. We mentioned like I typed in Smoke Break MMA, and actually there's another podcast called The Smoke Break MMA, but they don't even record anymore, I don't think. So, but basically, it is so fucking hard to pick names for podcasts.
Oh yeah, when I looked into the Outlaw MMA, the account hadn't been active since 2012, but there's no way to get a hold of that person because they have been active since 2012.
And you don't want to just take it and use it, and
no,
and it's weird, it's very weird.
A lot of people would just take it and use it, but we don't get down like that.
Yeah, I'm just curious too. Did you see the whole situation with It wasn't really a situation with John Sloan using that one girl's picture. That Chica girl on Twitter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I do kind of vaguely. I did hear a little bit about that.
So I just seen it the other day, and it actually I didn't comment on. I didn't comment or anything. The guy I've had on my show, Adam TC, the amateur fighter, Adam.
Oh yeah.
Adam commented to the Chica girl, which she's really popular on Twitter, and I think she follows me actually, and I follow her. She's a big MMA chick, but she said something about John using it, not giving her credit, and it was just a picture, for fuck's sake. I mean, it wasn't like it was a video. It wasn't like it was something special and something personal. It was a picture. Like, it's a picture. If I snap a picture of you at McDonald's, that's my picture. I can do whatever I want with it. Or if I put it on the internet at all, people can clip that and paste it and do whatever they want with it, So, but she got mad, and John apologized, and John's a great guy, which I probably would have too, just to show people like I'm not an asshole. You don't want people to think you're an asshole, especially in MMA, because we don't want fighters to think we're dickheads. We don't want people to think we're assholes or anything. So. And I've been in arguments with people on Twitter, and I actually, stopped all that a couple of months ago. Used to, I'd go back and forth with people. Now I really don't, just because, for one, it's not worth it. For two, and I've even told some people, like, what am I going to get from the argument? I'm going to argue with you. You're going to reply to me. I'm going to reply back to you, and it's just going to go on and on forever. And we're not going to get anywhere from it. But I just briefly seen this situation, and I just thought it was very odd.
It is, and in terms of arguing with people on any social media platform, it's pointless. And the thing that irritates me is that people say things they would never say to you in person on Twitter. And so once you accept that fact and know that people talk shit that they would never talk to your face, just walk away.
Yeah, but what I was mentioning about Adam, Adam said something like to the whole post. Adam tweeted and said, "You shouldn't have to apologize. It's just a picture. She does. It's." And he was like, "You're not even a photographer, John. You're not even a photographer, John. You're not a photographer, journalist. You're not a photojournalist. You're aspiring MMA media member."
Yeah, it's kind of shaky ground there, depending on who's right and who's wrong. But it obviously it made her upset. So
yeah, I can definitely understand, and he said that he would be mad too. But I just was wondering if you had seen that because I thought it was very odd just to see.
Yeah, I did hear about it, and I guess I kind of turned my back on it just because what's the point?
Yeah, I didn't comment or anything on it too. But plus, have you actually watched John before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you should definitely check him out, though. I mean, I'm sure you've seen him on my show, though.
Oh, yeah, I've seen most of your episodes, yeah, probably. I think so.
Yeah, I've had him on, like, twice. He definitely knows his MMA, too. He's just a kind of like me, just getting started. But actually, we decided to mix this episode up a little bit because as we speak right now, the Dallas Cowboys are playing the Rams. And this is, the playoffs, win or go home. And we're also huge NFL fans besides, MMA. MMA is my first love, obviously. MMA is number one. But number two is definitely NFL. I played football when I was younger, grew up on football. Just football is definitely number two on passions and love. And I
didn't play much football in high school because I think I went to 5 high schools in 4 years. So I played my senior year for a bit until I blew up my knee. And how it is in the States. It's just, I'm up here in Canada, obviously, but in the States, it's just such a culture. You roll down to Texas and it's life, if you're a high school kid or, whatever. I mean, it's life from Pop Warner football. And they got high school stadiums that cost $7-8 million.
Yeah,
I've seen them. So I mean, it's football definitely is so close to my heart. I miss the culture in America because up here we have the CFL, which is such a joke to me. And the field's different, the ball's different, the players are obviously not good enough to be in the NFL. So I'm not a big CFL fan, and that's I don't mean to knock anybody in the CFL or Johnny Manziel or anybody else. But I miss the American NFL culture. I miss it like crazy, especially on the holidays. Like I still celebrate American Thanksgiving up here, and trust me, my TV is on football all day, every year on Thanksgiving Day.
So who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite NFL team? Because me personally, I'm a Patriot fan. I'm a diehard Tom Brady Patriot fan.
Oh God, I hate that so much. I spent some time. I was lucky enough to live in New York City, on and off a few times, and I've always been a New York sports fan since I was a kid. I don't know why. I think it's because everybody hated all the New York teams so much. They hated the Yankees, they hated the Knicks, they hated the Giants, they hated Lawrence Taylor. Unless you lived in New York City. And so for me, I've always been a Giants/Jets fan. And I know you're not allowed to choose two teams, but you know what? I don't care. So I've always been a Giants and a Jets fan, which makes me smile because obviously we've had 2 Super Bowls against your Patriots, and we did what we, yeah, absolutely. And I have the T-shirts and the banners and the pictures from the both, and I was breakdancing. My crippled ass was breakdancing.
Yeah, that was a very heartbreaking moment for me to watch, because that's probably the luckiest catch ever. The one where he literally threw it right in his face mask and caught it. He just threw it.
Yeah, I think it was David. I think it was Tyree who caught it.
Yeah, Tyree. He just hit him in the face mask, and he just barely caught it off the tip of his helmet. It was just the luckiest catch in NFL history. But
yeah, I'm also a significant college football fan. I back Notre Dame. I've been a Notre Dame fan since I was little, and I watch a lot of college basketball too. So I'm a big Notre Dame college basketball fan.
Yeah, I'm a diehard college football fan too. LSU Tigers. I'm wearing the LSU shirt right
Oh
now.
yeah, you don't cheer for UT?
I like Tennessee. I watch their games, but I've always rep purple and gold. I've always been an LSU fan.
I can understand that. They got a great program, and,
Oh
and
yeah, we beat
they're
UCF.
one of
We
those.
just beat UCF, who won 54 games in a row.
Oh yeah, LSU is no joke. And the thing with the program like LSU and Notre Dame is that every year you don't know, they could be competitive and compete for the title. Yes, I know my boys just lost to Clemson, but I am so proud of them making it that far. So I really don't care. But every year LSU and Notre Dame can be competitive, and programs like that are great to be fans of.
So, who do you think pulls it off tonight? The Cow. You know how it all goes. The Chiefs just advanced with a win against the Colts. I said in like week 2 or 3 that it's going to be one of these 5 teams that are going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Rams. I'm trying to think right now. The Saints. The Saints definitely are in there. And possibly maybe the Cowboys. You got the Cowboys in there. They're obviously they're not a great team. They're just a good team. They do good things at good time. They're really good at time of possession. And Dak Prescott is really underrated. I mean, he's a great quarterback. He is. I mean, people say he's not a great passer and he takes too many risks, and that's true sometimes, but Dak's a scrambler. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He's got Zeke in the backfield. And Ezekiel Elliott, in my opinion, will probably go down. If he stays healthy and something catastrophic doesn't happen, I believe Ezekiel Elliott has the talent and the will and has what it takes to become the greatest running back of all time.
I can't disagree that he has the potential to be, and statistically, as we've seen through different generations of running backs, the next generation will finish with higher stats than Walter Payton's generation did, or Herschel Walker. People like that. They'll outpace them statistically, but it's more of a byproduct of how the game has changed, rather than them necessarily being better than someone like Barry Sanders or Walter Payton or Herschel Walker. So it's really hard to compare, and like generation to generation. And that's one thing I think that all sports should start, blocking off 20 years. So you have the best players of this 20-year period, the best players of this 20-year period. But I tell you what, tonight, if the Rams do not, because, the Cowboys got a hell of a run defense. If the Rams do not utilize Todd Gurley as a play action pass, and they just decide to run him, they're going to be in trouble. They need to utilize him as someone who, and I mean, as I say this, he's doing crazy stuff. And, well, that's not even him. And I really think they need to utilize the play action pass to get the most out of Gurley tonight, or they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Overall, though, do they get it done? Because the Rams are stacked. They got Todd Gurley. They got, they're very stacked. Jared Goff's a really good quarterback.
Well, I tell you what, they're about to. I think it's pretty clear they're about to either drive one in now or drop a field goal on them to start the game, and Dallas is going to be playing from behind immediately.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of those fights. I hope Dallas pulls it out, and I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say I believe Dallas will pull it out. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be maybe 27-23 Cowboys, somewhere in there.
Well, as I was saying before we went on air, I mean, Jared Goff last 5 games has not been spectacular. He's had 6 interceptions.